Hello, Year 7s. In today's lesson, our learning objective is to know the arrangement of particles in solids, liquids, and gases. Our success criteria is to understand what matter is, to recognize whether a substance is a solid, a liquid, or a gas, and to link properties to states of matter. So, your retrieval practice is, what is matter? How do we know it exists? What is the difference between mass and volume? Draw a representation of the following: solid, liquid, and gas. Please pause the video and do this now. So, I would expect that you would have had something like this. Everything is made up of matter. Matter is any substance that has mass and takes up space or volume. If you've not got that definition, you can write that down now. Your desk is made of matter, your pencil is made of matter, and you are made of matter. Here's another good definition for you. What is mass? Mass is the amount of matter in an object. If you weren't too sure, you can write that down now. What is volume? Volume is the amount of space an object takes up. Please pause the video and write these definitions down now. There are 5 states of matter you will learn about, 3 of these in Key Stage 3. And the 3 states of matter you need to know are solid, liquid, and gas. So, did you get this one right? A solid might be an example of an ice, something that you can touch, something that is tangible, something that is hard. Gas would be an example of steam coming from your cup of hot tea. And a liquid, an example of liquid, would be a glass of water. Here are some examples of either a solid, liquid, or gas. Please shout out what you think the examples are. The first one, is it a solid, a liquid, or a gas? Yes, I'm sure you got that one right. It was a solid. What about the second one? Is this an example of a solid, a liquid, or a gas? Amazing. That's an example of liquid. What about this one? Is this an example of a solid, a liquid, or a gas? I know you got this one right. So this is an example of vapor or steam. So that would be an example of gas. Equally would that one be. What about cold custard? Cold custard would be an example of solid. All right, and your toothpaste would be an example of liquid. Now, here is an activity for you to do. Please pause the video. So, in front of you, you have got a presentation which has lots of different objects. You need to decide if these objects are solids, liquids, or gases. So you're going to write hot custard. Is that a hot liquid or gas? Or solid? You'd put L if you thought it was liquid, S if you thought it was solid, and G if you thought it was a gas. So please pause the video now, write all the names of the different items down, and write L, S, or G to decide if they're solid, liquid, or gases. Please pause the video and do this now. So the answers are coming up on the screen now, so please take the time to mark your work. Right, so your final activity is this. Here are some examples of the materials on the left, and you need to decide how heavy they are, can they be squashed, and what is its shape. Is it fixed, or is it a shape that can change? Does it pour, or is it a solid, liquid, or a gas? I would suggest that you pick around 4 of these different materials and have a go at answering those questions. Please pause the video and do this now. So you may have come up with something that looks like this. A bag of air would be very light. Yes, it can be squashed, and yes, it can change shape, and yes, it would be a form of a gas. Yeah, whereas water is quite heavy. It cannot be squashed, it can change shape, and it's a form of a liquid. Honey, on the other hand, is quite heavy. It can be squashed. No, it cannot be squashed. It can change shape, but it's very it's liquidy, it's very viscous. All right, so we'll come back and talk about these things in a lot more detail in the next lesson. Right. Thank you very much for listening, Year 7. Have a lovely day, and I will see you next time.